All right, so right now I want to talk about why this deal analysis worksheet is so special. Obviously, we can see that it's a one pager filled with all the information you would need to analyze a pre foreclosure deal. Of course, you have the address section, sell date, location, information, parcel ID, mortgagor, mortgagee, origination date, loan amount, deed and book, sell. If there's any modifications that we find during a title search, then we would enter that information here. So that way we can analyze correct data. Uh, Loan amount information is here, prime interest rates. This right here is basically our amortization. Am I saying that right? Amortization calculator, aka our bankrate.com section. And it divvies up all of this. These are adjustable bars. So if we have a 40-year mortgage, a 15-year mortgage, we can switch that right here. If we of course, we assume what the arrears may be, but if we have the seller on the phone and they tell us they're 7 months behind, 12 months behind, we have an adjustable bar here. That way we can be on top of our numbers and really analyze the deal as closely as possible. Remaining loan balance section, total lien section, delinquent tax section, and minimum debt owed section. Minimum debt owed is basically your remaining loan balance, your total liens, your total delinquent taxes, all coupled into one number to let you know how much is the minimum debt owed to get this property reinstated and, well, basically free and clear. This number right here will basically say what would it take to get this property free and clear. We have different tabs right here. We have a holding cost tab that populates itself right here in this cell. I'm still working on this cell right here. This is our title search section, so that way I can enter all the liens that we find in here, and it'll add up all these numbers. I may have to add more sections here just in case there are more liens, but for now, a total of, let me see what the count is on this. Doesn't show. Hold on, let me see. So the count is 15. I have 15 sections right here. But all of that information would then populate itself right here. As we can see, there's 6,441 populates itself right here. We have assessors and information about the value, number of beds and bath, year built, lot size, square footage, price per square foot, zoning information, how much equity is in this deal, percent of the payment versus the loan, school zone data, last sold data, and estimated value based off realtor.com. We use a special version of realtor.com to get this estimated value. Property details right here. And all of those numbers come to this one box right here where we can play with the numbers and see if we can make a profit, if the deal makes any sense. And let's just go through one so you can see the power of it. So right here we have a list of pre-foreclosures. We're just going to choose one. I'm going to go through Fulton County. Let that load up. And I'm going to go search for a deal. Just choose a random one. Let's go with this one. Was this a conventional? I don't only want to do a conventional loan, and I don't want to do a condo that has a unit. Only reason I don't want to do a condo for example purposes is because I want to actually see the house when I put it into Google. And I just don't like what I'm seeing here. Let's go to another page. Matter of fact, let's not trust these values. Let's just say these values are off and it's our job to go and vet. So let's just say we are going to go with Country Club Drive. Let's see if we can make a good return on our investment. All right, it's in the southwest side of Atlanta. And pretty nice one-story brick house. Looks like a 70s build. Nice little retirement neighborhood, per se, or first house neighborhood. Anyway, let's then go take that address and put it here. It's saying it's worth $252. Okay, so what I do with this information is I copy it. And I come here, I select all, I copy it. Then let's go ahead and search for this property. I got the address saved right here. I copy all that information. And the last thing I go to is the tax bill information. Go to 2023. Something important was there, and I'm going to go back to that to explain that. But I'm going to copy that. But it said 5A transfer sold. So that means somebody paid off the taxes for them for 2023, 2022, and the county taxes in 2021. This company that owns all these taxes most likely is Vesta Holdings. And maybe I'll do a little deep dive on who Vesta Holdings is and how they make their money, because they're an interesting company. But nonetheless, we have all the information we need. So here is my custom chat GPT. I want to show you under the hood one time where I gave it special instructions on what to do and where to pull data from and how I want it formatted. So that way, all I have to do is just come here to ChatGPT and paste all of that information that I just copied. Now, the beauty of this is that this eliminated the need to hire virtual assistants because I was hiring people from the Philippines, Bangladesh, India, you name it, to do all of this clerical work for me because it gets tedious. I have a wife and 2 kids, and I just don't have time to go through, how many deals did it say? 162 potential deals in one county. Imagine looking at 5 different counties. Don't have the time for that, so I have to utilize overseas labor to expedite that. Well, at least I'd had to, but I discovered what I can do with ChatGPT and trained it exactly how I needed it to be trained. So that way I can just simply copy the data and then go to this GPT data tab and then paste the data in there. And now I have all the data that I need to fill in the fields that I would like it to. Now, this last sold amount, sometimes all the data don't do what it needs to do, but we can do things like, say, for the last sold amount, check other sources for this data. Okay, it says unfortunately it didn't see anything about it. I just want to go through real quick. Matter of fact, let's go to Q Public. Okay, we don't see anything. Nothing in there for sold. Two, 22328 Country Club Drive. Yeah, they don't have any last sold information on this property. So sometimes you just don't get everything. And it's probably not really that important, but I just like to have everything filled out. And if it doesn't have it filled out, then it's all good. Now in this property tax section, we did come across these 5As. And these 5As will also show up in the title search. But since we know that they are 5As, we can go ahead and say I copy all of this, right? Come to chat, paste that, and then ask it to total up all of the 5A. And bam, we got a total amount. Let's see. For what information is it getting? 2022. It's adding the penalties as well. Okay. Because in 2022 we have 2150 right here. And 2150 right here. The penalties aren't being added. Add the penalties to the total. So we got a total of 4,845. Now that we have that, we got more accurate information, and now we can go ahead and analyze this deal. $60,000 in 2004, on this property. That 60,000 come down here. Let's just say we did the title search and found out it was a modification in 2015, right? As you can see, a lot of this data changed. That interest rate changed based off of 2015 instead of 2004. And then the modification amount, let's just say they borrowed 75,000. That number goes there. And if there was an interest rate that they showed that they have 4.725%, it'd now go there. But we're just going to go off the data that we know instead of guessing, so that way we can just see if this is a deal or not. As we can see, $60,000 is originally a 5.85 prime interest rate for the year of 2004, and we can verify that right here in this historical prime rates tab. 2004, 5.84 plus 2 gives you the 7.84. We add the 2 to be conservative because it is a guess. We don't know for sure until we speak to the owner or get in contact with the lender. The monthly payments is $433. It sucks that they're losing a deal for $433. I would love to have this mortgage. I probably would even work out a deal for seller financing and keep this mortgage and maybe keep them in the house, and they would have to just pay me rent. There's a whole bunch of scenarios that you can create with a low mortgage payment like this. Wouldn't want to give this up. But if they were 6 months behind, we have that. Let's just say we figured out they had a 40-year. Those numbers do change. Let's just say they were 8 months behind. Those numbers do change accordingly. And we will have a remaining loan balance of $38,000. Total liens, like I said, we have a lien section. Let's just say we found a lien and this was $4,500. It based it off an interest rate that is associated with 5 phase, and this is adjustable. Let me see, do I have the interest rates? See, I have the interest rates right here that are typical. This is just from doing a whole bunch of title searches and looking at different deeds and documents and liens and seeing how much they total, how much their interest rates are in total on average. And I just use that just to be conservative to get a number because they do add penalties and interest. And for some reason we don't have a value here. Let's figure out why. Median sales price. So they didn't have any information on the median sales price. It's usually oh, they did median listing price. I don't know why it didn't come up with 275. But it did, 275. Cool. So why is that not populating? D32. I want to change this to D31, so that way we do have a number there. So bam, we got the 275 for the estimated value, and that's based on the whole neighborhood. Here's our description: single family house built in 1959, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,600, almost 1,700 square feet on just under a half-acre lot, estimated at $252,600. So let's say if we want to go off that 250 to be conservative, we can do a negative adjustment and almost bring it down to that number. There we go. It's close enough. So here, I just proved that we can make an adjustment. If we are Looking at other metrics, 195 would be the estimated equity. They have 85% equity in here. They paid off 37% of the loan in 20 years. That number always trips me out because how do you pay 2/3 of the loan, but it doesn't equal to nearly it's almost half of what you would think of 2/3. So that kind of trips me out. But anyway, all of those numbers do come down here in our metric bar, so that way we can see if we have a deal or not. And obviously, you know, if we try to make $75,000 off this deal, that's a cash on cash return of $46,000, and it is possible, including contingencies, renovation costs. Let's just say the renovation was going to cost a little bit more, about $30,000 a square foot. It's still room in this deal to make it work. We offer the seller $100,000 for the property. $100,000 would basically pay off the minimum debt owed and put $44,000 in their pocket. And we'll be working with the remaining equity of $150,000. Getting it at $100,000, as you can see, is $60 a square foot. That's 40% of the total value per square foot, because we have a estimated value of $150 a square foot based off this number right here, based off the value. If we were to do an all-in rehab, we will be in for $163. This is the $100,000 plus the renovation plus the holding and closing cost, and we have a closing cost of $5,000 fixed in there. If we wanted to win this at the auction, this will be our max bid amount. Possibly could go up, extra 10% on that. And let's just say we had the deal at auction and we didn't want to flip it. We wanted to wholesale it. And something is a little off here. I'm gonna have to figure that out, but where's G100? 1 plus G100. Yeah, it should say 10,000 right here, because obviously if we got it at 95,000 and we sold it for 105, our profit should be $10,000 for B93. It should be B99. No, B102. There we go. So to show our $10,000 profit, let's just say we want to make a little bit more on that because there is a lot of equity. Shit, we can kind of crank this up because an investor will be happy making 35% cash on cash return. And they are all in for 124. They put their rehab in there and they can make a profit of $57,000. I don't think that's a bad play. Or if we were to do it ourselves, we can potentially make $75,000. But either way, this right here, especially if I was to train virtual assistants on how to use this and leverage this and pump out sheets for all of these addresses that we have right here. Let me show you something. Let's go back because I want to select all these counties. It's going to take a little bit. I'm going to come back to it. But I do want to show you more of these tabs. We have a amortization schedule right here. And we can see all the way up into 40 years. And as you can see, information is being pulled. If it's 229 days, or excuse me, months, that it has been paid, then it'll show where the ending balance would be at that point in time. And I have a rehab calculator that's under construction here, but all in all, we were able to analyze this deal pretty quickly. Now, for all 5 counties, we have 362 results. That's a lot of results. So 362 deal analysis worksheets where we can just go in, look through our tablets, look through our phones. Real convenient layout that I've even heard that people can can look at this page from their Apple Watch while they're on a jet ski. Man, my mentor is funny. But yeah, this is the mechanics of the deal analysis worksheet, and I don't see anything that tops this as far as deal analysis go. Like, this is, I'm really proud of myself for building this. It took a few months to get everything down packed. A lot of trial and error, a lot of formulas. I had Chat GPT help me with some of the formulas and figuring out different things and how to come up with holding cost. And here's our holding cost tab right here. It brings see if we have a LTV of 80%, the total needed would be 155, and the loan amount would be 124. And that 155 is coming from C99. Let's go and check out C99. It's a hidden tab. It's taking B93, the 100,000, E87, the renovation cost, plus $5,000, and it's basically giving us 155 of what we would need. And honestly, if we're buying it from the seller for $100,000 and we put $50,000 into it plus the closing costs of $5,000, this is where that 155 is coming from, and we will have to come up with the 20% annual interest rate that's adjustable. And let's just say they're charging 15%. All of these numbers change, which basically changes our numbers in the metric. And that's how and it's calculating the daily cost. So completion time, we're saying 45 days. Let's just say it was 60. Obviously, you can see that number changes. And the days on market comes from right here. But I just wanted to make a video on the actual mechanics of this deal analysis worksheet, so that way when you're looking at other deals that I'm basically going through, I won't have to create a whole new video based off the whole process of using Chat GPT and coming up with this table right here and pasting it over. I can just knock out deals. I could just have these worksheets already filled out, and we can just go through and analyze deals and see if they're fit. And as you know, I'm going over live deals. These deals are going up for auction September 3rd. So these are live deals that I'll be dealing with from now into the future. So that's pretty much it. I think you guys got a good gist of what we're working with and a good understanding. And if you don't, watch the video again. And I appreciate the view. I appreciate the time. And hopefully you see something in me that can be beneficial to you. And with that, I'm out.